I'm doing, I know it's risky. Like what you saying, nah, I ain't tripping. Like I'm a king, no, not a nigga. I keep my distance from the wicked. Like is they ready, the time is ticking. I let them come and witness. Want my people to shine with greatness. Remember the days of ancient. Our time is
to the Most High God. Right, give me Isaiah chapter 2 and give me verse 1. Alright, another brother, give me Isaiah chapter 13 and 1. Alright, so we out here to give our people the law, statutes, and commandments so they could come back to the Most High God, man. We got the new moon tonight. Our people don't know about the new moon. Alright, our people are stuck on the parties. They stuck on club hopping, the festivities of the world, Halloween, Valentine's Day. And we got the Pentecost coming up, man. So our people, they got to learn these laws, statutes, commandments, because you got a whole true heritage that you never knew about. Actually, hold that. Let me get Sirach 17 and 11. All right. Sirach chapter 17 and verse number 11.
Sirach chapter 17 and verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
And the what?
And the law of life for inheritance.
The Lord give us.
And the law of life for inheritance.
So the Lord actually gave us a heritage, man.
Right.
And you so-called black man, you have a heritage.
Right.
And you Hispanic man and woman, you have a heritage, man.
Right.
You Native American man and woman, you have a heritage.
Right.
Your heritage is not based on America and how they rule their society.
See that?
Again, you have a whole feast day called the new moon. Right? Hey, brother, hey, what's your nationality? Hey, you're a tap him?
Tap him, Lahabi. Brother.
These are good. And we asked our people what's the new moon about. They wouldn't have no clue, man. Alright, hey, the new moon represents a new month.
Right.
Alright, did you know the months is not based on the damn solar calendar, how Esau say? Your months is determined by what? The moon, man.
Right.
And the moonly cycle. 29.5 days, as they say. But guess what? Our people don't know that because we've been destroyed mentally. Our heritage have been stripped from us. But again, we have the law of life. Hey, brother, did you know that? You have a heritage? Hey, did you know you was a king, brother? Did you know that? Hey, our people don't give a damn. Read that again.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
Right.
He made an everlasting covenant with them and shewed them his judgments. Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice.
Hold that. What's going on, bro? You a Christian? Are you a Catholic? Are you raised Catholic? Okay. Well, what's your nationality? Mexican? Okay. And you wholeheartedly believe in Catholicism? Roman Catholicism? Yep. So now, do you know their doctrine? Do you know, like, what you guys believe? Catholics believe? Like, what's your beliefs? Okay. That's it? Okay. Now, do you know how to get the kingdom of heaven?
Good question.
How to get to heaven? You want to go to heaven one day, right? How do we get to heaven? Okay, what's a good lifestyle? Not sinning? Okay. Well, what's sin, brother? What's sin? Wrong? Well, it's a lot of wrongs. They say if you don't stop at a red light, that's a wrong. Is that a sin if I don't stop at the red light? Kind of go past it? Is that a sin? So brother, if it's a red light and I'm driving and I stop and I don't stop, I keep going, that's a sin? You think so? Alright, we're gonna show you, bro. We're gonna show you what a sin is. Alright, the sin is predicated on the law. Right. So God actually gave us laws and a moral compass to follow. If we don't follow that, that would be a transgression. If you step on an ant, that's not a sin. You can step on an ant. Now somebody might think that's wrong, but it's not a sin. Alright? If I smack a brother got an ice cream, I smack it out of his hand, technically that wouldn't be a sin. Now, would it be wrong? Maybe. But that wouldn't be a sin. So let's find out what actually is sin. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3 and 4.
It's 1 John chapter 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Right.
For sin.
For what?
For sin.
What is sin?
For sin.
Read.
is the transgression of the law.
So sin is when you're breaking God's commandments.
Right.
Now, what's some commandments that you know? Right. Honor your mother and father. Right. Right. The 10 Commandments. To keep the Sabbath day. Keep the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath day. You ever heard that commandment? Let's say the Sabbath day. Have you ever heard about the Sabbath? Go to Exodus 20 and 8. But you're on the right track though, brother. But it's a lot more commandments where that came from. Now, I'm not sure what you learned in the Catholic Church, but up here today, brother, you're going to get the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. Now, bring this up.
It's Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now, what's the Sabbath day? No. What's the 7th day of the week? Yeah, read on.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day.
But the what?
But the 7th day.
No, the first day.
But the 7th day.
The third day.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So it says the 7th day is the Sabbath. So what's the 7th day of the week? You got a calendar, right? You got a calendar on your phone? You pull up the calendar and look at the first day and look at the last day. You about to see how America has lied to us.
Right. Saturday.
Now, that's your calendar, right? What's at the very first? Sunday. Now count 7 days. Saturday. You never knew that, did you? So you see how they put this information in front of our faces, brother? But it's up to us to do the research and learn. So Saturday is the actual Sabbath day.
Right.
That means today, which is Saturday, we're not supposed to do any work. Now, did you work today? Did you work today? Okay, you rested today. Okay, all praise to the Most High. Now, did you buy anything? You bought something? What you buy? Food? Okay. Now, we're going to show you something. Give me Nehemiah 10 and 31. All right, give me Nehemiah chapter 10 and 31.
Book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse number 31.
Bring it out.
And it reads, and if the people of the land bring ware on any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy of them on the Sabbath.
That what?
That we will not buy of them on the Sabbath.
So on the Sabbath, there's no buying or selling. All right, so you got to get everything prepared and ready in those 6 days. So when the Sabbath day come in, hey, all you can do is rest.
All right.
Read, pray, get into some scriptures. All right, maybe go over a lesson with your girl in the Bible.
Right.
All right, but guess what? That's not your girl. I'm sorry. Well, hey, teach your sister. All right.
Right.
You know, go over the scriptures with your sisters.
Right.
All right. Now, do that make sense? Okay. Now, we finna show you some commandments that you probably never heard of before. Now, do you eat pork? Y'all eat pork? Give me Leviticus 11 and 7. How long you been eating pork? Since you was young? And it kind of just went out for, okay. Read this.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
And the swine.
And the what?
And the swine.
Read.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean unto you.
So the swine is actually unclean. According to the Bible, eating a pig is pork. It's a sin. All right, read on.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat,
God said we can't eat of it.
and their carcass shall ye not touch.
You can't even touch it. So pork is a sin. We can't eat it at all. But guess what? That's what's in our community. And we grow up our whole lives eating this, and then we never find out that it was actually wrong for us. So brother, now that you know that it's wrong, would you be willing to stop eating pork going forward? No more pork. For God. You could? Okay, all praise. For the rest of your life. Yeah. You can do that, brother. We know you can. All right, because you got different substitutes for it. You got beef. All right, Have you ever had lamb before? Lamb. Yeah. So you got to tap in with the lamb. You had lamb before? Okay. Yep. You got the lamb. You got the chicken. You got turkey. You got the buffalo. The elk. You ever had elk? Deer. You could tap in with those different animals, but you gotta leave the pork alone though. It's killing us. That's why we getting these diseases.
Right.
High blood pressure.
Right.
Our body, when we get older, our body is being all jammed up. The parasites.
Right.
And in the pork, you got parasites.
Right.
Those worms, they all in your stomach.
Right.
And they were saying, I want more pig.
More pig.
That's what's causing you to you ever have something you just want to crave?
See that?
That's from those parasites that's in your stomach.
Right.
Whatever that you I want some mac and cheese right now.
Right.
All right, that's what you craving, man. All right. They're craving the pork, so you want to be careful of what you eat. All right. Now, do you eat seafood? Y'all eat seafood? Yep. You eat seafood, sis? Yeah. Okay. What type of seafood y'all eat? Okay. Octopus. You eat octopus? Okay, see that? Verse 9. That's the first.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
God gave us a dietary law of what we can and cannot eat in the waters. You know what?
Whatsoever hath fins and scales.
It has to have what?
Fins and scales.
Read that one more time.
Fins and scales.
You know what?
And the waters, and the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Now, what has fins and scales in the seas and the rivers? Fish. What type of fish, though? You got salmon, right? You got bass, big mouth bass, group, trout. It's a lot of different fish. Tilapia. Now, brother. Alright, now brother, would you be willing to stop eating the shrimp, crab, and lobster? Because they don't have fins and scales. God said you could only eat these things that got fins and scales. You could, okay, even the octopus, no more octopus. Okay, all praise. Alright, what about you, sis? You could do that? Okay, all praise to the Most High. Now, that's just a dietary law. It's actually more to where that came from. Let's go to Leviticus 19. Alright. Leviticus 19 and 27.
Leviticus 19 and verse number 27.
Pick it out.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Now, as a man of God, you can't shave your hair, Bob. Alright, and if you have any facial hair, you gotta grow that out. Now, you could kind of line it up, but you can't shave that bald. Alright, that makes sense? Read on.
Verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
Now did you get any tattoos? You got any tattoos? Okay. Now that's cool. You probably got some tattoos in time past. But now that you know that a tattoo, God said we can't get any tattoos, you don't want to get any more tattoos in the future. Alright? Because you a king. And if a king is not marking up his body with ink and chemicals that could possibly harm him in the future, he's not doing that. You think King David was getting tats? Nah. King Solomon? No, they wasn't getting tattoos. That's a newly created. I'm saying that. Well, I mean, they go back to they go back to a lot of ancient nations that practiced and partook in that.
Right.
Nevertheless, we better than that. We gotta treat our bodies as the temple of God.
Right.
All right. So no more tattoos. Okay. You smoke or anything? You do what you smoke. Weed? Okay. Smoke? No? Okay. Now, let's see what God said about weed. Now, did you know marijuana is actually a herb? Now, what are we supposed to do with the herbs? Eat them. Alright? Now, do a lot of people, the people in the world, do they eat the weed or do they smoke it?
Good question.
They smoke it.
See that?
Nobody's eating them. They don't even, they barely have edibles now.
Barely.
Not saying you should indulge in that, but people don't even eat weed no more.
Right.
They damn lighting it up in a blunt,
Right.
a backwood.
Right.
They getting the damn blunts the size of this.
Apple.
Alright. So, brother, that needs to be consumed. Now, do you know what it's supposed to be consumed for, though? Marijuana is a herb that you're supposed to consume if you have health problems. You might have glaucoma, anxiety, arthritis. It's a medication. So when you take that and you don't have anything wrong with you, that's when you start hallucinating.
Right.
You get that so-called high. But your body actually has a chemical called dopamine that you actually get a natural high from doing simple activities as cleaning your room, reading, going outside, playing with your friends. But now since you smoke, now everything is numb. It's like you go in slow motion.
Right.
You can't feel, you don't feel no emotions no more. You just in your own little world. And it's killing your brain cells. It's making you forget things. It's dumbing you down until eventually you get older, and like we were saying last week, you're just like a slug. So bring this out, 1 Corinthians 3:16.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16.
No.
What? Know ye not? It's like, what? Know ye not? That was like verse
3:16.
Verse 16. And it reads, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God,
If what?
if any man defile the temple of God,
Read that again.
if any man defile the temple of God,
Now, what's some ways you can defile your temple? Your temple is your body. So what's some ways you can defile your body? Huh? Defile it. Yeah. Yeah. What's some things you can do bad to your body? Okay. Okay. We talk about something else though. Smoking. That defiles your body as well. So God said, if any man defile the temple of the Lord, read on.
him shall God destroy.
Him shall what?
Him shall God destroy.
God can actually destroy you. Now you don't want God to destroy you, do you? So now we gotta repent. Right? Give me Acts 3:19. Now it's time to repentance. Right? Some brothers up here used to smoke. Do all kinds of bad stuff. But once we found out what was in this Bible, we changed our ways.
Right.
And we start living better. And brothers could attest, when they changed their ways and their life started getting better.
Right.
Imagine if we never changed, man. We were still doing, and we would have been catching hell.
Right.
And not know why. But now since we changed for God, the Lord, He changed our lives and caused us to prosper. So bring this out.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16.
16 and verse number 12.
16 verse 12.
No.
For it is neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restoreth unto health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things.
So the word of God is going to heal all things. Remember that, brother. So you think you can work on stop smoking? All right, but it's going to be a challenge, but you gotta get rid of that.
Right.
Because if not, brother, that weed going to get rid of you.
See that?
And next thing you know, it's going to be too late.
Too late.
All right. Now, do all of those make sense? Now, those are the starter packs for the commandments. Those are the basics. Those is what you should focus on. And as you read more, I don't know, you read the Bible? Once in a while? Now, we got to turn that once in a while into every day. All right? Start reading the Bible every day, and you're going to start increasing your learning.
Right.
Once you start increasing your knowledge and your learning, you're going to start doing better.
Right.
All right. Then next thing you know, now you're able to take in who you actually are, because you said you was a Mexican earlier, right? But who called you a Mexican? Who put that term on your people?
Right.
Huh? God? You think God called people Mexicans? Nah. The Mexicans goes back to the Aztecs. You ever heard of the Aztecs people? The Aztecs, they wasn't calling themselves Mexican. All right, that's a term that originated in the 1600s.
Right.
So you gotta ask yourself, who was you called before? And you will be an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar.
Right. Right.
Here, brother. That's what God called you.
Right.
Issachar.
Right.
The Israelites are God's chosen people. That means you're special in the eyes of God.
Right.
The Lord never called nobody black. A nigga, African American, Mexican, Puerto Rican. Nope, nobody. It's not in the Bible. This is what the white man called us when we came over. Did you know your people was in slavery to the Spaniards? Yeah, that's why you guys know you speak Spanish, Roman Catholicism. Now, brother, what did you learn up here so far today? Okay.
Right, that's right.
You say you ain't know you could eat it? Yeah. You can put it in your tea, you know. Now, what's some commandments, what's some more commandments that you learned so far up here today? Some we can't eat in the waters. Yeah, the fish. Fins and scales. Yeah, that's right. All right, what about today? Yeah, what is today? It's the Sabbath.
Right.
Now, what can we do in the Sabbath? The Bible, okay. Right, rest. All right. Now, what if I'm hungry, right? And I want to get something from that taco truck. It's the Sabbath. Can I do that? You don't got to buy or sell, brother. Okay.
Right, brother.
All right, what if somebody trying to sell you something for the low? Hey, I got this iPhone 14.
Only get it today.
Jailbreak.
Only today.
Jailbreak edition. For $10 right now. You gonna say what? What you gonna say? You gonna say no? Okay, all praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All right, now we got a couple more commandments for your sister because it's things. I know y'all gotta go.
Yeah, she gotta use the bathroom.
Okay. All right, we gonna bring out one commandment and we gonna let y'all go. All right, but this for the women, for the 1 Timothy 2:9. All right.
Book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, and verse number 9.
Look it out.
And it reads, and like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety.
So according to the Bible, women, because you're a princess, sister, you're a king, brother, and you're a princess. Now the women, God-fearing women, they supposed to adorn themselves in modest apparel, which is a dress. All right. Now you see the women today, they don't wear dresses. All right, they wearing booty shorts, crop tops, leggings, tights, all of that. Some of them not even wearing no clothes no more. So as a woman of God, you want to start getting dresses in your word. You wear dresses? No, not really. Okay, now you want to start getting dresses in your wardrobe so God can be well pleased with that. It shows a lot of shamefacedness, sobriety, and virtuousness and discretion. All right, that makes sense? Okay. All right, brother, we got a flyer for you. Be on YouTube? You do? All right. We got a flyer for you, so subscribe to our YouTube. All right. All right, brother, you an Israelite. All praise to the Most High, man. Brother received the word beautifully.
All right.
All right. Sis, did we deal with you before?
Yeah, she knows.
She did? Hey, sis, we got a question. Did we talk to you before? You sure? No, I think it's probably a long time ago.
She knows she an Israelite. Her mama knows too.
Oh, okay. You know you're an Israelite. How long you been knowing? 2015? Okay, all praise. Now, have you been doing any steps since 2015 to? Why not?
Because she changed. Like my mom taught me, but now she's a Muslim. She married a Muslim man.
So now she Muslim. Okay, now what about you?
I study it sometimes.
Study, okay. Now, since we want to turn that sometimes into all the times, it's 2025. That's 10 years, right?
Yes.
So we don't want to let the word. We don't let this information go in vain. You want to increase, all right? And it's a lot of things to increase on. I'm not sure what you just know about the Israelite. Do you just know you're an Israelite and that's it? What's about it?
what I learned from her.
Okay, okay. Now, does she teach you any commandments?
Some of them.
Like what?
Like, 2015 was a long time ago. I know, like, something about what they wear, women wear, how we supposed to protect our crown.
Okay. This your little brother? This your little brother? Yours? What's your son? Your stepson? Okay, okay, okay. Now we got some couple commandments before you send you on your way. Let's bring out the dietary law.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse number 7.
Bring it out.
And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you.
So these are the commandments of the Lord. All right. Now, do you eat pork? You don't eat no pork. Okay.
Only for 3 years we have to eat.
For 3 years? Okay, good. No more pork for the rest of your life.
He said, you don't want pork.
That's good. That's a sin. Now, what about the seafood?
Well, I don't like seafood.
You don't like? You allergic? Okay. What about you? You eat seafood? Okay, okay. Now, if you was to eat seafood, there will only have to be fish with fins and scales on it. All right, that makes sense. Okay. The dress code for the women do have a dress code. You know that. All right. So since you know that, you will want to make sure you slowly. It might not be an overnight process, but what? Since we living in the last days. Did you know that? Do you believe that we live in the last days? Look how the world has changed from 2015 to 2025. A lot has changed in those 10 years, right? So is it gonna get better or worse?
Better. I mean worse.
Come on, sis. Which one? It's gonna get better or worse? It's gonna get worse. And the more worse it get, the more, if you're not underneath the fear of the Lord, the Most High is not gonna protect you in those days.
Right.
Only way he's gonna protect you is if you're keeping his commandments. Give me Proverbs chapter 12 and verse number 21. And give me 1 Timothy. Or give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 21.
Get out.
There shall no evil happen to thee, just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief.
Read that again from the top.
There shall no evil happen to thee, the just.
It says the just. Read that from the top.
There shall no evil happen to the just.
It says what?
There shall no evil happen to the just.
So if you're just, if you keeping these commandments, sis, if you actually walking this walk how you should be, no evil is gonna happen to you. You're not gonna be going through it, struggling. I promise you that. It's time to change. You think you can do that? You can try. What's stopping you?
I don't know, like, it's just a lot. Like,
Is it people you don't need to be around?
probably my surroundings.
It's your environment. You can't expect to change and your environment is not healthy. It's the same. Those people you don't need to, whoever it is, family, friends, you don't need to be around them. Because when it's all said and done, and you gotta appear before the Most High God and he asks you, you knew this all this time, and why didn't you do A, B, and C? What you gonna say? It was my environment, it was the people around me? No, you gotta take accountability. It was yourself. So sister, if you gotta separate, you gotta separate. You should chiefly only be with people that fear the Lord. If they not fearing the Lord, it shouldn't even be no conversation. Right? I'm not talking to people that don't fear God, man.
Right.
What is there to talk about? Alright, does that make sense, sis? You gonna do that? Alright, now bring this up. Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
It's Deuteronomy 22 and verse 5.
No.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So if you're not wearing your correct apparel as a woman, the Lord, that's an abomination unto God. So sis, you want to slowly start getting them dresses together. Yeah. A dress. Why you think you can't do that? Yeah, a dress, sis.
I don't like dresses, but I can try.
Why you don't like dresses?
Like, I just don't like it. I I be feeling better in like jogging pants.
Well, it's a reason behind that. Look what America has shown our women to wear, the
I was
pants.
never a girly girl.
Well, it says you're supposed to be a girly girl. Well, if you're not a girly girl, what are you?
Right.
Are you masculine? Are you independent? You can be
I'm
honest.
independent,
You independent?
and I'm well,
Wow.
I'm a versatile female.
You're versatile. Now, is being independent masculine or feminine?
I think it's masculine.
It's a more masculine trait. You don't have to be independent. That's the thing. God put woman on here on this earth to be with a man.
Right.
I hear that. That's where me and my mom gonna get along.
What you mean?
Like, I don't know. I never really don't like it.
A right man?
I don't like it.
Why not?
Lord, no.
What you mean? You talking about as far as relationship wise?
Yeah.
I'm saying you didn't come out the womb liking women, so what caused you to like females?
Like when I grew up, like it always been something that brought me to it. Like ever since I was 7, I always liked the women.
Like the women? Alright, well you know that's a sin, right?
I know.
You know?
I know that's the sin. That's why we and her don't get along.
Well sis, you can't do nothing with another. What you gonna do with another woman? It's lust. That's all it is. You're just gonna freak off on each other and that's it. You can't reproduce. She's not gonna be able to lead you and guide you because she's a woman. That's not her role. I mean, what are you gonna do with just a woman?
I don't know. It just,
But is that your child?
huh?
Is that your child?
Yeah.
Your biological child?
Yeah, sperm insemination.
So,
When a doctor put it in.
wow. So sis, look. It's not that you can't repent, but you want to realize what you're putting the children through when they get older. You know, your child, he need a man in his life.
That's right.
A godly man. He don't need no dyke. Right? Not trying to throw shots, but I'm just being honest. In order for him to be a man, he needs a father.
Right.
And if he don't know who his father is, because his mom made a not so well decision, that you see how your decisions you make affect others around you.
Right.
So it says I feel like you got the information, you know what you need to do, but it's a lot of distractions and spirits that you gotta break. And you could break that. You gotta break that through praying and fasting.
Right.
So we got 2 more verses before you peel off.
Okay.
Give me Mark 9 and 29. Bring this out. James chapter 4, 17.
This is the book of James, chapter 4, verse 17.
Pick it up.
Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is a sin.
It says what?
To him it is a sin.
Read that again.
To him it is sin.
So if you know to do good and you still decide not to do it, it's a sin. Alright? And it wouldn't be wise. Now bring this out.
Mark chapter 9 and verse number 29.
Get out.
And it reads, and he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing, but by prayer and fasting.
But by what?
But by prayer and
How
fasting.
do you get those demons off of you?
But by prayer and fasting.
So sister, you got demons on you. Alright? I'm just keeping it a buck. You got demons and you got spirits. But only way you could get those off of you is by praying and fasting.
Right.
T.
So have you ever went on a fast before?
Yeah. When I ask God for something, and when I'm not feeling, when I know like something's bad will happen, I'll just stop eating while I'm drinking.
Okay, now you could go on a fast to get those demons off of you and have the Lord to change your mind.
Right.
So, hey, you gotta go on a fast immediately. Immediately, sis. Alright, and make sure you praying. Alright? So you know you an Israelite. Did you get our YouTube channel? Get a sister a flyer. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post daily edification. And you know what I'm saying, you need it. Alright? You got any questions? Alright, sis, take care. Alright, take care, brother.
Praise.
Praise the Most High. Any questions?
They say they heard. They know that the so-called African American man is.
Right. So you know about the real Jews. What's your y'all believe in a religion or anything religious? Christian? Alright. Now who taught us Christianity? We gotta have that conversation. Because a lot of people don't know. You said the church? But,
I'm really too big, like for real, like the religious stuff. I just shouldn't have like my own relationship with God. It's like a religion.
Right. Now, religion is man-made. So the Christianity, the Baptists, the Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists is man-made, and it was created by slave masters. I mean, we got the chart. I don't know if brothers could pull that up. But it's actual slave masters that created these religion institutions, and they forced it on the slaves, and as time went on, slaves had more children, generations went on, and that's why you got the churches and everything set up right now. Now, if y'all see yourself on this sign, y'all will be Israelites, according to the Bible.
No, I'm reading. I'm trying to understand.
With this sign, not that one. That sign is, this one is a table of nations, so everybody has a God-given race, whether you white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case may be. Right here is a Pacific race called the Israelites that you see at number 1, which is the 12 tribes. So we're not black, we're not African American. Those are lies. We will be God's chosen people, the Israelites.
Right.
Now I know you said you like to have your own personal relationship with God.
Right.
What's that? Ah, okay. Yeah, you can show them. You can show them. Edification. First John 2:3. Now you heard me? I said, what's your own personal relationship? Because I hear this a lot. There's a lot of talk, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people say they got their own personal relationship. Okay. Okay, now who do you pray to? Alright, what God though? What's his name?
That's a good question.
I'm not asking these questions to put you on the spot, but I'm trying to increase your learning, because who do you pray to?
Right.
When I grew up praying, I thought I was just praying to God. But God actually has a name, which our people don't know. But again, everything is in this Bible. This Bible is not a religious book. This Bible is actually a historical book.
Right.
About God's chosen people, which are the Israelites.
Right.
Who we are today.
Right.
So God has a name. God has a favorite people,
Right.
a favorite animal,
Right.
a favorite place,
Right.
a favorite river,
Right.
a favorite flower.
Right.
But we don't know nothing about God. When you have a relationship with somebody, you know the ins and out of this person, the deeps, the depths. You know, and you know the real them. So why is it that God know us, but we don't know
Right.
who He really is
Right.
and what He stands for? So let's show you some things real quick. Give me 1 John 23.
Book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
And whereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments.
If we what?
If we keep his commandments.
So the only way you know God is if you keeping His commandments.
Right.
Read on.
He that says, I know him.
It says what?
He that says, I know him.
Now we're not saying this is you, but a lot of people that we encounter and talk to, they say they know God.
Right.
So God said, he that saith I know him, read on,
And keepeth not his commandments
and you don't keep any commandments,
is a liar.
is a what?
Is a liar.
Read on.
And the truth is not in him.
And the truth is not in him. Because how can you know God when you don't keep none of His commandments?
Damn.
And it's a lot of our people that say they know God. Oh yeah, I go to church, I worship God,
Right.
but they don't keep no commandments.
At all.
God doesn't like hypocrisy.
Right.
Now, anybody can repent, absolutely. And and we're gonna fall short, but it's we can't willfully sin. Alright? So when you pray, sis, you wanna make sure you're praying to the proper Lord. You turn that sound around, King. Now right here you have the ancient Paleo Hebrew. The English, the letter J was just invented in the 1600s. It's not that old.
Right.
This is the original language. All right, the Lajawan Kodash.
Right.
When you read Genesis 11:1, when the whole earth was of one language and one speech, this is what it was.
Right.
So you have the name of the Father right here. His name is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. That's his name. Now you have Yahweh Shai, which people call Jesus, Yeshua. These different names. His real name is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves.
Right.
Because he's going to come back and save his people.
Right.
Now, this is a depiction during the Holy Roman Empire of Christ, the Messiah, and the angels. As you can see, they are dark-skinned, melanated beings.
Right.
What image? This image right here, they have this in the churches of Christ being a white man.
Right.
Which is a lie.
Right.
That's an actual man by the name of Cesare Borgia.
Right.
Leonardo da Vinci painted him out, and they set him up as God.
Right.
So since now you should know who you praying to. You want to pray to Yahweh, which is the Father,
Right.
in the name of his Son, which is Yahweh Shai.
Right.
Does that make sense? Bring that up.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 12, verse 3.
Bring it out.
Verse 2. Behold, Yahweh is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid, for the Lord Yahweh is my strength and my soul. He is also become my salvation.
The Lord is our salvation. We want to call upon that name for salvation. Is there any questions on that? You said what? Yahweh. Yeah, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai is the Son. Alright, you can take a picture if you want, but bring this out.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man,
Right.
and the head of Christ is God.
So it's an order. You have the Father, his Son, man, woman, children. In that order. On down. Read on.
Verse 4. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So as a man, when I pray before the Heavenly Father, I cannot have my head covered, because that would be dishonoring my head, which is Christ.
Right.
Read on.
Reading on. But every woman praying or prophesying with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head.
Now, as a woman, you want to pray with your head covered.
Right.
That shows discretion, and you're representing your head, which will be man. But if you don't have a husband, by default, your head will be Christ.
Right.
So you want to make sure you have your head covered every time you pray.
Right.
All right, a lot of people don't know that, but that's a part of the customs. See, the thing with Muslims, the Islam, the religion, they adapt a lot of their customs from the Bible.
Right.
So it's literally they steal it from the Bible and incorporate it into their own. Just like the word Quran means to recite, because everything they're reciting is in the Bible. That's why the Muslims, they don't eat pork. They make sure they fast, practice Ramadan. They get it from the Bible. They steal it. It's basically like the bootleg. You got the real picture HD movie, and you got the bootleg movie.
Right.
So you got the 2D movie.
Right.
So this Bible is where it's at. All right, it's where it's at. So you understand the Israelite part. You understand that, or not really? Slightly. The reason why we call it. You said what? Right. Yeah, we can enlighten you on it, but the way we know we're the Israelites, because we made actually a blood covenant or contract with God.
Right.
And our forefathers did. To whatever God tells us to do, we would do it.
Right.
Our ancestors broke that covenant, so curses got poured upon us.
Right.
Give me Deuteronomy 28:15. And with these curses, such as slavery and many different other curses, this is how we know we are indeed the biblical Israelites.
Right.
We the same people that Moses freed out of Egypt. We those same people. The Israelites have always been in slavery.
Right.
Why? Because they're disobedient.
Right.
When you examine us, we hard-headed. somebody tell us to do something, we don't want to listen.
Right.
So God has to punish us until we come to realization that, you know what, I messed up. I need to start living for Him. And people don't find this information out to their 40s,
Right.
35,
Right.
50s.
Right.
By that time, they so stuck in their ways, it's hard to break all of them demons that they got and been accumulating since a youth. So bring this up.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Bring it out.
For it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
If we don't listen to God, read on.
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So black people is cursed. It is what it is. We are cursed, hard-headed people.
Right.
But we curse for a reason, though. And until we realize that reason, we would never be able to come together.
Right.
We would never be on. We could march. We could protest. We could try to start up black businesses. It
Right.
would never work out because God has put these curses on us, and He's the only one that can take these curses off
Right.
of us. So with these curses, just go to 54, for example.
Verse 54.
No.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
This black on black crime.
His eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
So that's why we have an evil eye toward each other. Because every other race, they not mistreating each other. They not asking where you from, what block you on. You can't come around her.
Right.
Robbing you, killing you, trying to take your girl.
Damn.
They're not doing that stuff. But it's only us doing it.
Right.
Read on.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Right, how do we treat our women nowadays? As a nation. Yeah, we pass them around, man.
Right.
Alright, treat them like a piece of meat. You said what? We don't treat in the ancient world, we used to treat our women like princesses.
Right.
Like, this is the mother of my child. Now we treat our brothers wickedly, then we treat our women wickedly. Read on.
And toward the remnant of his children.
And toward the what?
And toward the remnant of his children.
Right, how do we treat as a nation of people, how do we treat our children, brother? We really be setting our children up for failure. We the reasons, a lot of our parents and grandparents are the reason why we scarred the way we is.
Right.
So, these are all generational curses. It's the last one.
Which he shall lead.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall lead.
Are you going to take care of the children?
Which he shall lead.
We didn't have our fathers growing up in the household. You know? So this is a curse that only fit us. This don't fit the white man. Don't fit the Chinese man. It only fits us. So this is how we know we the people of the book.
Right.
And now it's time to come back. Right? Do all of that make sense? You got any questions? No questions? What about you, brother? No questions? Alright, so what's some commandments? Before y'all leave, what's some commandments that y'all familiar with? Right. You know it's actually more than 10 commandments? Yeah, how many commandments do you think is in this book right here? 34?
Nice. That's a good guess. That's a good guess. Oh, it's not.
No. Yeah.
Damn.
Got a long, it's about 613.
Right.
But a lot of them, you said what? Yeah, it's 10 commandments, but it's more commandments that they don't teach us. I'm not sure, y'all grew up in the church? No, you did? What you learned in the church? Be honest. Nothing. Nada. Other than some church songs, what did you learn?
Right.
How to pray? But you see, we taught you how to properly pray though. With the head covering and stuff like that.
Right.
And who to pray to.
Right.
So a lot of the church is you go to church if you want a motivational speech. If you want to feel good, then go to the church.
Right.
Other than that,
I go to church, but I haven't like I go to
you want praying? Okay. Yeah, the church, they're just gonna take your money and pass around the plate and stomp and dance.
Right.
And a lot of them are hypocrites.
Right.
A lot of people in church are pedophiles. Yeah, they are. Pedophiles, rapists. Yeah, it's a lot of adultery that go on in there. You said what? Yes. Some of Rebuke. Now we're gonna show y'all a few commandments before y'all dip. Maybe about 3 that y'all never heard of.
Right.
You got that?
This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you.
Do y'all eat pork? Nah. Okay. Eating pork is a sin.
Right.
So, if y'all ate pork in the past time, y'all want to ask God for forgiveness and don't eat no more pork.
Right.
All right. No more pork on your first. Y'all eat seafood? What type of seafood? All of it. Verse 9.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, and in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
It says what?
Them shall ye eat.
You can only eat things with fins and scales.
Right.
If it don't have fins and scales, you shouldn't be eating it.
Right.
And it's reasons to it. So all the shrimp, crab, lobsters, oysters, octopus, they have their specific duties. The shrimp, they eat up the poop, but they clean up the sea, just well as the crab and the lobster. So if we eating all, that's why the oceans is so dirty now. And we eating that stuff, we putting that into our body and our temple.
Right.
And then God said on top of it is a sin.
Right.
So that's why we all jammed up health-wise.
Right.
So would y'all be willing to stop? Only eat things that got fins and scales, which will be fish.
Right.
It's possible. Why are you gonna stop doing it for God? You would? No, it's a process. It's definitely a process. But you know, some processes are easier than others. You know, but that's the goal. No more shrimp, crab, lobster. And if you did eat pork, no more pork.
Right.
What about smoking? About smoking? What you smoke? Weed. Now, why do you smoke weed? What cause? Is it stress, depression? Okay. Is that some of the main causes, which would be that? But marijuana is actually a herb,
Right.
and it's not meant to be smoked. It's
Right.
actually meant to be consumed.
Right.
So when you smoke it, you going against the God-given nature for what it was actually used for.
Right.
Give me Genesis chapter 1 and 29.
Bring it out.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 29.
Bring it out.
And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
Now, every herb has a seed.
Right.
Does the marijuana, a lot of the marijuana, now they don't have seeds in it. Huh? So the weed that you do smoke, do it have seeds in it, or you don't know? They don't. That's because it's genetically modified.
Right.
Mexican mota.
Alright, it's not real. It's sprayed on, it got more chemicals on it.
Right.
So we thinking, yeah, this that za.
Damn.
It's that exotic za. It's not za.
Right.
It's stuff that's making you slow.
Right.
And he's putting all type of stuff in it.
Right.
So read on.
Damn. That is not good.
And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth,
Right.
and every tree, and the which the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
It says what?
To you it shall be for meat.
Smoke it.
To you it shall be for meat.
Now, see, we done been there, we done done that. Alright? We done did some things. We not, you know what I'm saying? We done did some things, but we changed.
Right.
So the weed, the marijuana is for meat. You don't smoke meat. You consume it. But you only consume it if you have health issues, and you need it to benefit. It's a herb.
Right.
You have a lot of herbs used for your health.
Right.
So if you smoking it, now you going against the reason why it was created.
Right.
That's why it's your body. The first time you smoked, you probably had a couple coughs.
Right.
Because that's your body telling you, I'm not used to this. What is this coming in? And when it's used for that, now it's turned into a sin.
Right.
And we we all go through it. You might be going through it. You need your blunt. You stressed out. Pissed off. But when you dealing with that, you supposed to pray. You're supposed to go in the fast.
Right.
That's gonna do the job, because once that high go away, your problems is still there.
Right.
Once rent come around, you still gotta pay rent. You still gotta deal with the problems that God has set before you.
Right.
But you want to make sure you're doing it the correct way. Give me 1 Corinthians 3:16.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and 16.
Yo.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of God,
So your body is the temple of God.
Right.
You know what?
and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God,
Read that again.
if any man defile the temple of God,
Read on.
him shall God destroy.
God can destroy you for defiling the temple. That's how big of a deal it is. So again, it's not going to be an overnight process, but it definitely can be done. We can do it. We know for sure it says you can do it.
Right.
All right. So that's pretty much the starter pack. Is there any questions? Now, what's 3 things you learned about today?
Praying, some of my head, and
His name. What's his name? It's pronounced Yahweh.
well, I know that he have an actual name.
Yeah. His name is Yahweh, which means he exists. So
Right.
you read it from right to left. Yeah. Well, actually, you read it from left to right. So it's Yahweh. And then you have his son's name, which is what? Yahweh Shah. So you might want to take a picture. It's very important.
Very
You might want
important.
to take a picture. But yeah, so we got a flyer for you. Oh, y'all got one? We got a YouTube channel on there, so check it out. Alright, y'all too. Be safe.